So I'm going to tell you a story. It's a good story, and then I'm going to tell you a piece of wrestling news related to it, Sean, because it's good. So I know you know this as a guy in wrestling. Some of our listeners might not know this. Oftentimes, wrestlers are booked for non-traditional events, right? Which means oftentimes wrestlers are booked for things outside of the usual, hey, we're doing this live show on this day, and here's your opponent, and it's going to be in a little arena in front of 500 people, whatever the case may be. Sure. An example that I personally have was I know of a businessman in the Toronto area, and he's wealthy and all that. And every year he flies in wrestlers just to go party with at the clubs.
Yeah.
And when I first met this guy, he said to me, I don't know if you're busy in 2 weeks, but I'm bringing in Ric Flair, Brutus Beefcake, and Terry from Three's Company, and,
sure.
and Larry from Three's Company. And we're gonna hit the clubs. And
it's a party.
It was around Christmas time, and I couldn't make it in. Whatever. A week before, because he told me what he paid these guys, and it was significant, right? A week before, he played me a voicemail from Ric Flair, and the voicemail from Ric Flair said, with all the Ric Flair-isms and the woos and everything, it basically said something's come up, and I'm not going to be able to make it, and I'll get back to you, and we'll figure something out, blah, 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 blah. And the businessman looked at me, and he said, I'm going to go to the airport the day that his flight is scheduled, and I bet you $1,000 cash he's going to be standing on the curb waiting for me because he needs the money. And sure enough, Ric Flair was there at the airport, and he went out with the guy, and I heard all the stories about Flair putting on the robe in the club, and apparently they lost Beefcake after the first club, didn't know where he ended up, and Terry from Three's Company said, if you don't give me Coke right now, I'm going home. Allegedly, this is what I was told. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I just heard of an event that takes place in Toronto every year called Slammin' for Shabbos. And Nigel's already laughing. Nigel's already laughing. And apparently this past Monday, June 26th, was the 3rd anniversary of this thing called Slammin' for Shabbos. It's a fundraiser. Proceeds go to a charity called Tom Che Shabbos, which is a charity that provides food to Jewish families in need in Toronto. They do the show in a backyard of a house.
They did like a $55,000 live gate.
Yes. And now...
U.S.
Yeah, you can't really call it a gate. It's not really a gate. But
unless there is an actual gate on the yard.
Yeah, well... But if you saw the footage of it, and Nigel's going to put up the wrestling photo,
sure.
This was not a, say, backyard of a mansion that spans an acre. This is a regular Toronto backyard where they put a ring in there. They have a couple rows of seats. You can tell that it's all friends and family that do this thing. And again, it's for charity, and so they ask for donations. And I think they even have a minimum donation of like $150 or something. And the photo that Nigel's putting up is from, I think, last year when they brought in Nikolai Volkov. The guys that produce this thing, they're known as the Megan Boys. I don't know if you've heard of them, Sean.
I have. Don't they do the Iron Sheik stuff?
Yes. So they promote the Iron Sheik. I know them from Toronto here. They promote the Iron Sheik. They're twin brothers. They mostly do weddings and bar mitzvahs and stuff like that. This year, for this Slammin' for Shabbos, in the backyard of somebody's house, they brought in Colt Cabana and David Starr, and they had them wrestle for the first ever Jew North American Heavyweight Championship, and now I just got a photo of the belt. Obviously, they were inspired by the WWE title, and they just kind of changed around some of the little jewels in order to make a different logo on the front. But they call that the Jew North American Heavyweight Championship, and Colt Cabana won that title.
Fantastic.
So I wanted to bring that up because obviously, again, that was not a regular wrestling show. It was done for people's friends and family in a backyard. But they flew Cabana in. They paid Cabana's guarantee. And so there he was doing that.